Welcome to Crime Demystified. We are all about true crime documentary. And tonight we uncover the harrowing story of Bianca Devins, a vibrant 17-year-old whose life, once filled with dreams and the promise of a bright future, was brutally cut short in a crime that played out in the unforgiving arena of the internet. Stay with us as we piece together the shocking details of this case, explore the dark influence of social media, and examine the disturbing aftermath that continues to haunt online communities and law enforcement alike. Bianca Michelle Devins was like many teenagers, living her life online. A recent high school graduate from Utica, New York, Bianca was set to embark on a new chapter, with plans to study psychology at Mohawk Valley Community College. But beneath the surface of her digital persona lay struggles with mental illness, isolation, and relentless online harassment. Her life was a tapestry woven from social media interactions and the pursuit of connection in a world that often felt cold and indifferent. Yet Bianca's online presence was more than just a series of posts. It was her escape, her sanctuary. And it was through these digital channels that her fate would be sealed. On a fateful Saturday, Bianca was filled with anticipation. She excitedly wrote on a gaming platform about her upcoming trip, a 250-mile journey to Queens, New York, to attend a concert by Canadian singer Nicole Dollanganger. This was a night that promised adventure and the thrill of live music. But before the morning light could break, tragedy struck. In a cruel twist of fate, Bianca never made it back home. Instead, her life was brutally taken, setting off a chain of events that would shock the nation and expose the dark underbelly of our digital age. In the early hours of July 14, 2019, Bianca's world turned into a nightmare. According to police reports, Bianca was in the company of Brandon Andrew Clark, a 21-year-old man whose relationship with her was as complicated as it was dangerous. Though their connection began online, it soon grew into something far more intimate and tragically exploitative. What started as an online friendship spiraled into a reality marked by drugs, jealousy, and an argument that would end in unspeakable violence. It is believed that during the return journey from the concert, an argument erupted, possibly sparked by a kiss between Bianca and a mutual friend. In the heat of the moment, Clark allegedly attacked her with a knife. The assault was so vicious that it left her nearly decapitated, her body later discovered abandoned in their car. The horror didn't end with the act itself. In the digital age, the aftermath of violence is often amplified online, and Bianca's case was no exception. Brandon Clark did not keep his heinous act a secret. Instead, he shockingly shared graphic photographs of Bianca's lifeless body on Discord, a popular messaging platform among gamers, and even posted disturbing content on Instagram. These images, some showing the gruesome extent of injuries to Bianca's throat and body, quickly went viral. Within hours, the disturbing content spread across Twitter, Facebook, and even obscure corners of the internet like 4chan and 8chan. The digital shockwave that followed not only re-victimized Bianca, but also ignited a firestorm of outrage and debate about the role of social media in propagating violent content. As news of Bianca's murder broke, the internet became a battlefield. Her once modest Instagram following skyrocketed, from a humble 2,000 to over 160,000 in a matter of days. Users began sharing not only the graphic images but also malicious memes and offensive commentary that celebrated the violence. Online platforms, many of which struggled to police such extreme content, became conduits for both the dissemination of brutality and the re-victimization of Bianca. Misinformation and sensationalist headlines painted her as an Instagram influencer or an e-girl, terms that did little to honor her memory but instead fueled a culture of exploitation. Dr. James Densley, a criminal justice professor, warned that the public sharing of these images could lead to secondary trauma for viewers and would forever keep Bianca's memory tarnished by digital infamy. The digital mayhem forced the authorities to act swiftly. By early morning, numerous calls had flooded in, reports from across the United States urging police to investigate the disturbing posts. When officers tracked Brandon Clark to a wooded area, the scene was as chaotic as it was grim. Clark, having stabbed himself in the neck in a desperate, doomed act, was found lying atop a tarpaulin that had been placed over Bianca's body. In the ensuing struggle, Clark was arrested and later charged with second-degree murder. His actions, from the brutal attack to the deliberate online sharing of graphic content, painted a chilling picture of a man seeking infamy. Clark's subsequent guilty plea led to a sentence of 25 years to life in prison, yet the impact of his deeds continues to reverberate in the digital world. Bianca Devins' murder was not just a personal tragedy, it became a watershed moment for the discussion of violence online. The case exposed glaring weaknesses in how social media platforms monitor and manage graphic content. Despite the advanced techniques like digital fingerprinting, platforms like Instagram and Discord struggled to contain the spread of these horrifying images. In the aftermath, a wave of public outcry led to calls for stricter regulations. Lawmakers and activists rallied for changes, including proposals such as Bianca's Law, aimed at holding social media companies accountable for the circulation of violent content. These legislative efforts seek to impose fines and criminal charges on platforms that fail to adequately moderate their communities. Bianca's murder forced a reckoning, highlighting the dangerous incentive structures in online culture, where notoriety and likes can be perverted into a currency that rewards horrific behavior. Amid the digital chaos, the human toll of Bianca's murder became tragically clear. Her family, shattered by the loss of a beloved daughter and sister, found themselves battling not only grief, but the relentless spread of images and messages that further deepened their pain. Bianca's mother, Kimberly Devins, expressed her heartbreak on social media, imploring people to love, not violence. In tribute to her daughter, the family established a scholarship fund to honor Bianca's dream of helping others through psychology, a final act of hope in the midst of darkness. Community vigils were held, where candlelight and quiet solidarity provided a counterpoint to the online frenzy. These moments of unity underscored a powerful message. Even when digital spaces descend into chaos, there remains a deep human need for compassion and remembrance. Experts have long warned about the dark corners of the internet, where radical ideologies and violent content can spread unchecked. In Bianca's case, the suspect's use of platforms like Discord, Snapchat, and even Foursquare to share images of her murder highlighted a disturbing trend: the glorification of violence for online clout. Dr. James Densley, a professor of criminal justice, explains that this isn't merely an isolated incident. The internet has a way of immortalizing violence, he says. When a heinous act is shared, liked, and reshared, it creates a cycle that not only re-traumatizes the victim's loved ones, but also inspires others in dangerous ways. Investigative journalist Robert Evans notes that online communities have become breeding grounds for extremist views, where individuals are radicalized through constant exposure to violent imagery and hateful rhetoric. This digital ecosystem, fueled by anonymity and a lack of accountability, has made it increasingly difficult for social media companies to control the spread of such content. Bianca Devins' murder catalyzed a fierce debate about the responsibility of social media companies. As graphic images continued to circulate, lawmakers were pressured to act. In the wake of the tragedy, initiatives such as Bianca's Law emerged. Proposals designed to compel platforms to establish dedicated teams for identifying and removing violent content. Critics argue that despite these efforts, too many violent images still slip through the cracks, continuing to inflict secondary trauma on viewers and perpetuate a cycle of digital violence. The case has not only influenced policy discussions, but has also spurred a broader conversation about the ethical responsibilities of online communities in an age where every like and retweet carries weight. In the courtroom, Brandon Andrew Clark's trial further underscored the chilling intersection of violence and digital culture. While Clark ultimately pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison, the ripple effects of his actions continue to shape public discourse on online safety, mental health, and the need for comprehensive digital regulation. Bianca Devins' story is a tragic reminder of the delicate balance between our digital lives and our real-world vulnerabilities. Her murder, so public and so grotesque in its dissemination, forces us to ask, how do we protect our young, impressionable minds in an era where violence can be both witnessed and immortalized with a single click? This true crime documentary isn't just about the gruesome details of a murder. It's a call to action. It challenges us to re-examine the power structures that govern our online communities, to hold social media companies accountable, and to foster an environment where empathy and safety are prioritized over sensationalism and exploitation. In the wake of Bianca's death, the online world was forced to confront its darkest corners, but it also sparked a movement, one in which supporters rallied together, replacing hateful imagery with messages of hope, remembrance, and solidarity. Through initiatives like #RIPBianca, her community showed that even in the face of digital cruelty, human kindness can prevail. As we bring this true crime documentary to a close, we remember Bianca Devins not just as a victim of a brutal crime, but as a young soul whose potential was stolen too soon. Her story is a somber reminder that in our interconnected digital world, every post, every like, and every share carries weight. It compels us to ask, what kind of online community do we want to create? And how can we ensure that such a tragedy never happens again? We invite you to join the conversation. Share your thoughts on what could have been done differently, and let us know how you believe social media platforms can be held accountable for the violent content they allow. Your voice is vital in the fight to protect vulnerable individuals and to ensure that the legacy of Bianca Devins inspires meaningful change. Thank you for joining us on this emotional journey. If Bianca's story has touched you, please leave a comment below and share your insights. Together, we can transform our digital spaces into environments of empathy and safety. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more true crime documentaries that explore the complex interplay between violence, media, and our shared humanity. Until next time, take care, stay vigilant, and let compassion guide your every step.